We know him as the most evil man to walk the planet. He is the man responsible for the destruction of Europe and for the worst crimes in history. He was born in Braunau, Austria on April 20th, 1889 to Alois Hitler and Clara Pauls. At the age of 3, Hitler and his family moved from Austria to Germany. As a child, Hitler and his father clashed a lot, and after the death of his younger brother Edmund, he became more detached and introverted, and his father also didn't really approve of his interest in, art instead of business, so they fought a lot.
Wo ist denn Butter?
Nein, nein, nein! Du bist ein Dummkopf!
Alois died suddenly in 1903. 2 years later, Hitler's mother allowed her son to drop out of school.
Hitler moved to Vienna and worked as a casual laborer and a watercolor painter. He then applied to the Academy of Fine Arts twice and was rejected both times. Out of money, he moved into a homeless shelter where he remained for several years.
At the outbreak of World War I, he applied to serve in the German army. He was accepted to the German army in August 1914, even though he was still an Austrian citizen. Although he spent most of his time away from the front lines, in battle, he was present at a significant number of the battles, and he was wounded actually at the Battle of the Somme. He was decorated for bravery, receiving the Iron Cross First Class and the Black Wound Badge. He had a psychological disorder where he would think that he was acquiring unusual diseases, and he would often diagnose himself with unusual health conditions, especially ones including intestinal disorders, and he even would treat himself with rare medical conditions that would usually require some bizarre type of medication. Hitler was extremely particular about his physical appearance. He was especially particular that no one should see him naked or bathing. He would never even take off his coat in public, even during extremely hot weather conditions.
Hitler became the leader of the Nazi Party and built up membership very quickly, mostly due to his powerful speaking abilities. He organized an army for the Nazi Party called the Stormtroopers, sometimes known as the Brown Shirts, who were called upon to fight groups seeking to disband the Nazi rallies. In November of 1923, Hitler led more than 2,000 stormtroopers on a march to seize the Bavarian government. The attempt failed, and Hitler was arrested and sentenced to prison for 5 years for treason. While in prison, he wrote a famous book called Mein Kampf, also known as My Struggle. In this book, he stated his beliefs and plans for Germany's future. He only ended up serving 9 months in prison, and when he was released, began to rebuild the party. He set up a private battle-ready elite guard known as the SS. By 1929, the Nazis had become an important political party in Germany.
In 1930, a worldwide depression hit Germany, and Germany also had to pay the debt for the damage that they had done in World War II. But Hitler protested against paying the debt and said that Jews and communists were really at fault for Germany's loss in the war. And he promised to rid Germany of Jews and communists and to once again reunite the German-speaking part of Europe. In July 1932, the Nazis became the strongest party in Germany, and Hitler was actually appointed Chancellor of Germany, and once in this position, he quickly moved toward attaining a dictatorship. And then when von Hindenburg died in 1934, Adolf Hitler already had control of Germany, and he gave himself the title the Führer, meaning the leader. And then under his government, the Third Reich, there was no place for freedom. And he used propaganda to brainwash everyone into believing that this perfect race, the Aryan or the Nordic race, was what was right. And it was basically a plan to rid the nation and eventually end the world of Jews, gypsies, handicapped people. Hitler married Eva Braun on April 29, 1945, in their apartment. And before Hitler was finally stopped in 1945, he had caused the extermination of over 12 million people. And he eventually committed suicide in his bunker on April 30th, 1945. And 7 days later, Germany surrendered.